Good morning! It's Sam McDonough, IFBB Bikini Pro, and today we are back doing a preview of the Van Pro-Am, but the list is itty bitty, so we have time for some extra stuff today. And when I say that, I'm like, oh, people are probably like, oh no, don't get to the extra stuff, just do the updates, blah, blah, blah. But then I realized, you know what? There's not like, thousands and thousands of people watching me, so the people who are watching probably do care a little bit. Evidenced by the fact that I got one comment. Everyone's been asking one comment for some life updates from me. So here I am with my life updates. And here's one update. I have been thinking, oh, I should get some segments in this going. I feel like it's kind of repetitive because I'm like, oh, this person could be a little bit tighter, but they came in this tight because they don't have enough muscle to be less tight, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? We got to mix this up. So I was thinking segments. Segments are the way to do it. And I need some graphics. And then I thought, okay, let me see if I could try to make some graphics. And then I made some graphics. Well, no, I didn't. I pulled up what I thought I would use to make the graphics, and then there was an option for an AI generator. I was like, I guess I could try this, but I'm like pretty morally against AI with art stuff, so I was like, never mind. Because they take art from like actual artists and then just put it together, and they don't get credit or payment for it. So then I was like, you know what? What better artist than myself? So here we are. Life updates. Oh no! Wait, this just appears backwards. Okay, well, that was a waste of 45 minutes today. I made more than one. This one didn't take 45 minutes, but okay, here we go, guys. Let me make the screen big. And then life updates. Life updates. Okay, guys, here are my life updates. Well, that was one. You just got one. Here's my jacket. Okay. What were my life updates? Okay, so life updates. I'm gonna start grad school in a few weeks. I'm so excited. So yeah, okay. A little bit about me if you're kind of new. Okay. I don't need to give like a whole backstory. Okay, let me give you the broad strokes. My sister and I moved here in 2019 so she could go to law school, and I had just quit my job working at Mac full time so I could also go to college because the schedules conflicted. And I wanted to get my full focus to college because I, am privileged, so I was able to get my full focus to college. And then so I started taking classes. My sister and I moved, and then I picked up classes here where I live. And then I finished my psychology degree in 2024. And then I applied to grad schools for like that year that I was finishing up school, and I didn't get in. I applied to only state schools that time. And then I applied again this past fall, and I got into the private schools that I applied to, but none of the state schools. And man, when I applied to grad schools for the first time, and I applied to the college that I was currently attending, and then I got rejected, and I was like, I still gotta show up to this campus every day after they rejected my ass. But I mean, obviously that's fine. They don't accept that many people. So yeah, all that to say, here I am. I am finally gonna start grad school for marriage and family counseling. My goal is not gonna be surprising. I would like to work with mainly queer people. You don't always get a choice, especially in the beginning. But yeah, I think I'll do that. And eventually that might be a private practice thing. And then I can also like work for the state in some capacity because that's a little more regular than, the income you might get with private practice, especially with like how the economy is. Who knows how the economy will be in like 4 years, and I'm like actually able to be working. But yeah, so I'm thinking, I might just keep up my life's, history of doing multiple jobs at once. So that's the plan. So that's one life update. What's another life update? I feel like I had one. Competing, where I'm at with competing. I don't know. We'll see how grad school goes. I get up at like 5 a.m. and my grad school goes till 10 p.m. So that's going to mess up my schedule a little bit, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be worth it, obviously. And yeah, so competing, I was thinking maybe next year, but I review these pros' glutes all the time, and my glutes are not near these people's glutes. So I'm going to keep building for a while, see what happens, maybe compete in 2027. I don't know. So until then, I'm just going to keep working on building. And we'll see how grad school goes. And maybe it won't be so busy that I will actually be able to compete. I'm not sure. So we'll see. If I were able to compete next year, it would be this summer because grad school is also on Saturdays. And I think it's probably frowned upon to not go to school so you can do a competition. I mean, have I done that a bunch of times with my undergrad? Yeah. But I feel like grad school's a little bit different because it's less days a week than regular undergrad was. So we'll see. Another life update. I am looking for outfits to wear to my sister's wedding. So if anyone has any suggestions of what they think I would look beautiful in, then let me know. And I think those are all my life updates. My boyfriend is kicking my ass when we play Gin Rummy together. And you know what? It's what I wished for because I kept beating him and it was honestly sad and pathetic. Just kidding. I hope he's watching. But no, now he keeps beating me and I am pissed. So yeah, but maybe I should compete because he was like, I can see your competitive nature coming out when you play. And I'm like, what competitive nature? And he's like, unit, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's just our cute little banter at home. Just kidding. That wasn't even a cute story. Okay, let's move on. Do I have any graphics for what I'm moving on to? Let's see. Okay, I have a few more graphics here, but they don't really apply. One of them will apply soon. Okay, so life update's over. Okay. Let's move on. So, the Van Pro show. There has been some controversy. JK, controversy. There's been some controversy about why this... Not okay. Maybe not. Well, maybe. Why is the list so small? Okay, well, my answer is that two things. Ashley, I forgot what the two things were. Ashley Caldwasser is competing, and when she announces a show ahead of time, fewer people show up. Unless it's Pittsburgh. Obviously, people are still going to do Pittsburgh because the whole point is that it's a mini Olympia, so people want to see where they line up or where they stack up, compared to the second best in the whole world. Formerly best in the world for 3 years. Ashley won the Olympia 3 years in a row. 2015, 16, 14, 15, 16, took 17 off. And then came back 18, blah, blah. So anyway, when Ashley enters into a show and lets people know in advance, then fewer people do that show. That's just the way it is. And she's been doing Vancouver for a few years because she loves going to Canada and doing the shows there. So she's been doing that for a few years. So if people know she historically is going to show up at a show, then, and they're trying to get their Olympia qualification, then they probably aren't going to do it. The people who are going to do a show, and okay, also, because at this time of year, you're seeing a lot of Olympians, repeat Olympians coming out and getting their qualification later in the game because they've proven they can get to the Olympia. So they aren't going to push themselves earlier on and then take a break and then compete again until the Olympia. You know what I mean? So if you're someone who's proven over and over again that you're going to get to the Olympia, Jordan Lee, who got 9th at the Olympia last year, and who has been to the Olympia a handful of times already, or you're Ashlyn Little, who didn't compete till Texas last year, which is in the summer, which is pretty close to the cutoff. The cutoff, I think, is September 15th again, or September 14th, something like that, for the 2025 Olympia. Then you aren't gonna... Then why would you, if you're trying to get your Olympia qualification and it's coming down to the wire, it's 11 and a half weeks away, then why would you go to a show that you're pretty likely not to win? Why would you waste the time, the money on travel, getting hair, makeup done, all that? Why would you do that if you're probably not going to win? Because a lot of people, especially with the way the economy is now, why would you spend all that extra money if you aren't already qualified? You know what I mean? Now, if you are already qualified, or if you're just trying to see where you stack up in the league, maybe you've never been to the Olympia before, then it's a great idea to go compete against Ashley Kay because it shows you where your holes are next to the second best person in the world. You're up against the best physique that actively competes throughout the year. So obviously it would be nice to see how you compare next to her. And if you get a look next to Ashley from the judges, then your name is out there and then people start recognizing you and that helps you build some momentum. So it makes sense in those instances. Like, you are already qualified, you just want to see how you compare to her. Or you, like, aren't qualified, probably not going to qualify, but you're able to get seen against the best in the world, which makes you a better athlete and can get you some more name recognition among audiences and judges. Not that judges are going off of names, but, like, repeat exposure to seeing someone, you start to remember them, and then you kind of grow accustomed to them, you know, or, like, grow a like for them. You know what I mean? Judges are only human. So yeah, that's what I think. That's why I think the show is so small. I saw some things saying that the show's not run well, but then, like, the other half of people are like, no, I've done the show a bunch of times. The show is run well, you know? So I wouldn't say it's that. And I also saw some people saying, like, people are blaming Ashley. I don't think anyone's blaming Ashley. Like, I think they're just like, yeah, no, why would someone compete at that show if they're trying to get their Olympia qualification, you know? Like, you don't see Brittany Gillespie, who has been trying to get her Olympia qualification all year, and, like, the end of last year, you don't see her going up against Ashley at this show because obviously she's not going to win. Not because she's not a great athlete, but because it just does not make sense strategically if she, like, only has a finite amount of times she's able to compete. So yeah, that's my take. That's my take on that situation. But I said there were two reasons. What was the other reason? Okay. Maybe Ashley was the main reason. Okay. But okay. Yeah. The other thing. Yeah, people are obviously going to compete at Pittsburgh. Okay, no, sorry. The other thing is, like, sometimes when Ashley doesn't announce a show, like when she didn't announce, was it a Texas show? It was a World Classic this year. She didn't, like, she kind of hinted that she might do a show very soon. So, like, if you watch her podcast closely, then you would know, or you would, like, be able to maybe guess, but she didn't outwardly say she's going to do that. And then a bunch of people show up at that show. And she wins. So yeah, and not that Ashley can't be beaten. She's been beaten before. She was beaten by Kate Carroll last year, who just got her qualification. We talked about her the other day. And then at Patriots, she was beat by Alice Roca last year. So yeah, that's my take. Do I have anything else to say? I don't think so. Okay, let's get into it. So we have 5 people at the show, plus 1 secret person who nobody knows who that's going to be yet, if they decide to compete. So this Vancouver show is the Van Pro-Am. So there is a pro qualifying component. So there will be a pro card given to one lucky bikini competitor. And if she so chooses to enter into the pro show after she gets her pro card, then she may. So I've seen some people say that they believe that my graphics are in the way. See? So they believe Kyla Kinna will be that lucky lady. So I don't know why I'm saying it like it's a dating show. A new bombshell has entered the stage. Blah, blah, blah. Did anyone watch Love Island? I don't really, but I do love the narration. Okay. So this was Kyla. She's an amateur, so I'm not going to, like, dissect her physique or anything. But I've seen people talk about her, and she has won a show in Vancouver recently, and there's some talk about her to win. She looks incredible. Great balance. So, yeah, she might be the person we see. But also, a lot of people who do national shows and are, like, going for their pro card, they don't really talk about it or post about it. Like, because it just can add more internal pressure to them. Like, they feel like eyes are on them, so add some pressure. Like, when I was competing at the Arnold Amateur last year, I wasn't really, like, talking about it a lot. And my Instagram isn't, like, a fitness Instagram at all. So I'm not, like, you know, posting a bunch of physique updates or anything. Like, when I'll compete, then I'll post. And, like, here and there will be a prep-related story or something. But I'm not posting, like, this is my, update, or like this how today was, or whatever, because I just feel like there's more pressure. So this person is known, and she could very well win and go pro, and I wish her immense luck. But there could also be, like, some freak who walks out who has no Instagram presence at all. So I always love to see that. And I love to see, like, when national shows happen, I'm always looking at the winners, the pro card winners and stuff, because you never know when some freak is just going to walk out and then be, like, the next person on the Olympia stage. Like Jess Neary, when she won her pro card and then did a few shows and got Olympia qualified within her rookie season. Like, that's so exciting. So never underestimate an amateur. I don't know if any of you do, but I'm just saying I love to be keeping my eye on people who are winning their pro cards, because you never know who the next Ashley K is going to be. So, yeah. Okay. And I would consider her, okay, I wasn't going to use this graphic, but here I am. athletes to watch. Kyla Kinna, she's an athlete to watch. You guys, I'm going to have to make these backwards, or I'm going to have to just take a picture of them and then mirror it. Okay. Mirror. You get it. You get it, guys. Okay. Moving on. So, let's begin. Let's begin with Miss Maxine Alexandra Somov. Am I obsessed with this bitch or what? So, here is Maxine. Maxine, she just has one of the most beautiful physiques I have ever seen. I am a huge Maxine fan. Her hair and makeup always look gorgeous. Her face isn't fully posed. She is one person that poses mainly, smiles with her mouth, but does not smile in the eyes. I would like to see this smile go all the way up to the top of the face, but that's really the only critique I can give about her stage presence there. But man, is she just so structurally, I want to say superior, but superior to who? You know what I mean? But just her structure is so good. Her hourglass shape is crazy. I love the way her lat tapers into her tiny waist. Her core is always super tight. She doesn't really have issues with her midsection ever. Great glute pop from the front. Her glutes get her whole physique gets better and better every single year. Really matches from top to bottom, front to back in terms of her conditioning and her muscularity. The fullness in the hamstrings going into the glutes. It's just, she is a killer physique. I am obsessed with her look. She is the only person I really think could challenge Ashley at this show. Do I think she will win this show? Not really, but she could, though. She definitely could. Ashley is not unbeatable, so I'll go into some things that I think Maxine could edge her out on. But the tough thing with Maxine is just going to be, her glute projection compared to Ashley. Not that she is not balanced from top to bottom and front to back, but a lot of times she does push pretty hard in her glutes. Not really in this picture, so maybe it won't be an issue at this show. But she does push her glutes back to where you see that shallowness along the center, and Ashley has a bunch of projection in the center. So that's really the only thing. But Maxine, yeah, I like the suit color. She also looks great in the blue she does. The hair makeup suit, beautiful. Tan always looks great. Has the proportions, is balanced her conditioning everywhere. Her posing, I think, is stellar. I think it's really, really good. Sometimes the back pose, like I said, can be an issue, but yeah. And then she posted this update photo between Toronto and Vancouver, so 7 weeks ago to now, and her waist looks pretty much just as tight. Her hand is covering up her waist here, so it kind of does look a little bit smaller, even though a lot of times that can make her waist look wider. But yeah, I think this is a really good pose. Her glutes all over. She definitely looks fuller than she did before. And this is what I mean with the pushing back. She's pushing back a lot harder here than she was on stage. So I think it's good she wasn't pushing as hard on stage, but it just kind of highlights a little bit of a shallowness here in the center. So if she could stand up a little bit taller like she did at the Toronto show, then I think that's the perfect pose for her. This one makes her glutes look wider and flatter, especially this one on the left, and then we lose the upper body. And this one is a little bit better. She doesn't look quite as pushed. I think also we're seeing a little more of the suit, so that is helping with shaping the glutes. But yeah, if she poses like she did at Toronto, then I think her glutes look awesome and full, and she looks very balanced. This is a little bit too much, but this was before Toronto, and she ended up posing better than this on stage. So hopefully same situation here, because this is just a little bit too much. This actually is kind of similar to how much Ashley pushes back sometimes. Not as much, but definitely it has its similarities. So yeah, but yeah, she's looking way fuller in the glute ham ties, especially the glutes just are really projecting, and that's what she's gonna have to do against Ashley, because Ashley is a never losing on the glutes. Her glutes are always there, and it's not a glute competition, but that is what sets Ashley apart from other competitors a lot of the time. I've said before, it's usually in the top 2 and 3 positions, usually just 1 or 2. The way the glutes do not slope off when you walk and the projection they have in your back pose is a lot of times what separates those top people from the people just below them. You'll notice the people just below them slope off in the glutes a little bit, or they don't have as much projection outward. And so that's just super hard to achieve. Ashley's been, she was the D1 cross country athlete and maybe also track. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong if you feel like it. But yeah, Ashley just like has had glutes since birth, and she only improves them because she's in an aesthetic sport. So yeah, I think Ashley and Maxine will be our top two, with Ashley being in first place. But yeah, that's what I think. Okay. Let me pull up photos. Okay, so here's Maxine, and I'll pull up Maxine and Ashley next to each other so we can kind of dissect what I think they are doing. So their insertions are very similar. Like Ashley's shoulder insertions are a little bit longer than Maxine's, but like they have very similar, very, very similar structures. Ashley, even though she's not a very quad dominant person, she's a little fuller in the quads than Maxine, but since Maxine is filled out, then I think they will have a very, very comfortable front pose. And I think that Maxine's midsection is a lot better than Ashley's. Ashley usually has this vacuum thing going on, and I know she stated that there are reasons for that, but it doesn't change the, fact that it is noticeable that she does this vacuum kind of thing. What she would need to do, which I'm sure she knows and maybe is just not able to do, is pull the ribs in and down to really flatten out this midsection like you see in Maxine. Like Maxine is a perfect example here. But yeah, they both have very similar lat insertions, shoulder, glute, leg. Like they are very, very similar in their structures. So it's going to be a pretty close apples to apples comparison. And then I think Maxine's stage presence is better than Ashley's. Like, I think Maxine, she just looks a little bit more comfortable in her movements, but Ashley has improved greatly. And Ashley does have, like, a very big wow factor to her physique. Obviously, I'm just like really splitting hairs here to see like what might make Ashley be in second place, but I'm not like necessarily hoping Ashley is in second place or something. Like, good for her if she wins. I think it'll be her 53rd win. So yeah, major luck to both of them. I think it is Ashley's show, but I think of the competition she could have, at least structurally, Maxine is the most comparable in the whole league, probably. So yeah, if Maxine is fuller, like she is showing in her updates and like detailing for us in her updates, then I think, Maxine could potentially edge Ashley out, at least be very tight, but I think Ashley will probably win. But yeah, I mean, just really, this is going to be exciting to see those two next to each other. And then in comparing their back poses, I mean, they even have similar hair here too. So yeah, I mean, they have similar like shorter glute insertions, which gives them great pop from the front and the back. I think Ashley's glutes have not looked as full this year as they have in the past. Like, I think Maxine does have more upper outer glute. Ashley has a little more projection through the center here. And they both are, Ashley is almost a little tighter in her hamstrings than Maxine. Of course, this is different lighting too. I'm just like doing the best comparison that I can. Ashley does have more muscle density all over. But yeah, I mean, Maxine is very balanced. Ashley's pretty balanced. She looks a little less balanced with the upper outer glute here compared to her shoulders. So I hope she can bring that up, because what I've noticed this season is her glutes are sloping off in that walk to the back, which is not usual for her. And she said that this could be her last show before the Olympia. So hopefully that will like do her glutes some good. And they'll be really like full and poppy. But I think this conditioning is great. I do like the suit Ashley's wearing. Her hair looked pretty. So yeah, but I think it'll be tight between the two of them. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Maybe not tight, but like, I think it'll be a really good comparison between those two. And I did want to bring up my favorite look Ashley's ever brought. Her hair at this Japan show. This was the end of 2023. I think the greatest she's ever looked. She looks like the cover for all of Bikini in this photo for me. Like, I think this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous look. Her waist is tight, projection in shoulders and glutes is incredible. Just that hourglass look she gets here. The hair, it's laid beautifully. I do like the straight hair on her a lot. And the red suit, I don't love when it has these darker outlines, but the red does look great on her. I like red or green for her. I think her posture here is really good. Yeah, I just think this is my favorite Ashley I've ever seen. Could her stance be a little smaller? I do think so. Like, maybe feet, like, heel more right here instead of this wide. But yeah, I mean, she looks great. And let's look at Ashley's glutes compared to her glutes at the Olympia, so I can just show you what I mean about her glutes not being quite as full this year as they were last year. And she doesn't even have to be at her best yet because, like, you know, it's not the Olympia yet. So, yeah, I just think she had more upper outer glute here. She was, like, bursting full this show. Borderline, I think they might have even said too full. I do not, you know, quote me on that. I don't even know if that's true. But I think Laura Lee's conditioning at that show was just better. Oh, wait. Is this the show I'm talking about? This look. Maybe it's this Japan look. Right? No, it was the other one that I showed you already. But okay, let's look at Ashley's. I mean, maybe I'll like this one too. Let's see. Let's stroll down memory lane. Yeah, I think this is also a beautiful look. And this suit, this is what this is the red that I like for her. And just in general. Yeah, this is a really beautiful look. Really full. Yeah, pretty, I like this one and that other Japan look that I just showed you. So let's look at her glutes at this show. And then there's another competitor competing at this Canada show that I'm very excited about because she is a lot of the competitors at the Asia shows. Like these glutes. These are, yeah, that's the fullness that I would like to see at this show. And same thing in the hamstrings, like that amount of fullness in the muscle belly. I think if she brings this conditioning, I really like that. Okay, anyway, okay, I'll get to the competitor I was just talking about. Okay, I'll do her now. So this is Demi. So Demi just competed in Taiwan like a week ago, and I'm very excited to see Demi come here because she's competed in the US before, and the reason I bring it up is because a lot of these competitors in other countries, specifically like the Asian countries, because they're so much further away, so travel is so much more expensive. I really just wish that travel were more feasible because I want to see these competitors from overseas like getting to compete in the US during the year, not because the US is better, but because the US has more of the top Olympians. So it's always like an awesome opportunity to be able to compete against people that are like going to the Olympia every year, just to see like where you stack up, and so you can really go off of the judges' feedback from these shows. So I'm really excited for her that she's doing this show. So Demi, she has not placed top 5 before. I think 7th is the highest that she's placed. Let me see. Okay, 9th there, and then I think 7th last year at a US show. So that's good. Okay, one sec. Rebecca, I'm making a video. Can I call you in like 25 minutes? Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm back. My friend, I guess she's going to the airport, and she needs... Oh, okay, one sec. Life updates. My friend Rebecca is going out of town, and she wants to park in my driveway. But sometimes they will, like, ticket you, or she wants to park in front of the house. But they will ticket you overnight if you stay overnight and you, like, aren't part of some HOA thing. So, yeah, Rebecca is going to park somewhere else. Okay, so, should I bleep out her name so nobody goes and robs her? You know what? Good luck robbing her. Okay, everyone. What was I going to say? Okay, I'm glad that okay, the highest she's placed is 7th, and that was in the US, but that was 2022. That's what I was saying. Okay, so here she is, just a week ago, so we can do a pretty good assessment off of this. So what do I think she needs to do better? So first of all, her upper body looks fantastic. Her upper body is there, and this waist is fucking snatch. It is itty bitty, really good. And the fullness in the upper body looks great. She doesn't look she is a little vascular, but she doesn't look like overly vascular to the point that they like wouldn't reward her unless nobody else had this amount of vascularity, but people often have that amount of vascularity. It's her back pose that I think could use a little help. Upper body and the back pose, perfect. Hair and makeup, I think are great. Could the makeup be a little more glam? Maybe. This coral, I think it's a little too coral. I would like something a little more mauve-y. And then the back pose just needs some more upper outer glute. She's pushing a lot. I think it's because she's not as conditioned on her lower half as she is on the bottom. It's just a body fat distribution, mismatch. So, yeah, I think she's pushing really hard to get these glute ham ties to show, but what it's actually doing is showing a lot of deep grooves in her hamstrings, and it's just kind of flattening out her glutes. So when you push back a lot, think about like a muscle, like a bicep peak, like you can see right here, my huge bulging biceps. Life update. Okay, that's a different one. I have bulging biceps. But when it's straight, see? It's all flat. So when you arch your back a lot, it stretches your glutes, and they don't get that same like poppiness and projection. Same thing that was happening to Maxine when she's bent over almost. So yeah, I think if she could stand a little bit taller, that would be better. But the real issue is that she just has more body fat on her lower body that she needs to get off before she can look balanced from top to bottom. So she looks imbalanced from top to bottom because her lower body is not in condition, but her upper body is, which makes her lower body like wider and thicker than her upper body, which is just an imbalance. You can see also in this front pose, I would like to see a little more detail. Not everyone gets this line from hip to knee, but it does help. And I think she probably could get that if she were a little bit leaner in her lower. So yeah, hopefully she's been able to get leaner. A week is not that long to be able to get leaner. But she could get a little bit leaner. So yeah, and when I say a week is not that long, to get leaner, you have to like drop food or add more cardio or both. And when you only have a week and you're trying to drop inflammation during peak week, which is what you're trying to do, then if you like do those things, like too much of those things, like for too long, then it just makes your body look tired and you get inflamed. And then you can have a film water review that can kind of just look like the same, look like body fat. So yeah, is it long enough? I don't think so. So hopefully she stays. And earlier I said this was in the US. This show's obviously in Canada. So hopefully she stays like in the area and does some more shows. If she could stay for like a couple more weeks and pull some body fat off, then she could look refreshed in a couple weeks for a show. But that remains to be seen. Maybe she'll look super fresh and tighter at this show. But yeah, so that's what I think. And let's look at like this. Yeah, okay, a little bit soft here. The tan is also messed up, but like whatever, you know, that is an easy fix. So yeah, that's what I think. Is it enough time? I don't think so, but wishing her the best. Good luck, Demi. Okay, and at this show, we have a lot of people who have done pro debuts, or it is their pro debut. So this person, it's her second pro show ever. So she went pro at the Vancouver last year. She won the pro portion. It looks like she did not compete in it. Let's see. Okay, let me pull up Ashley again. And let's see if that girl competed and her name just like isn't listed for whatever reason. So here's Vancouver. And since Ashley's been doing Vancouver, Bikini has been small at this show. So she's been doing Vancouver here for a couple years. And before she did it, there were a few more people. So like there were 15 a few years ago. And then last year there were 8, I believe. This is 2023. Okay, so there were 11. That was Ashley's first year doing it. And then 2024, there were 8. Because Ashley made like a big deal about it on her podcast. She's like, I love going to Vancouver. I'm going to compete there every year. So, yeah. Okay, but what was I going to check? I was going to check. Okay, what's this person's name? Brooklyn. Brooklyn, go you. Okay, where's Brooklyn? Okay, so yeah, Brooklyn did not compete even though she went pro. Okay, I'm going to go over to that. So, Brooklyn, what do I think? Here she is. I think she was just a little bit too tight, but I think she got this tight. See, that's what I said in the beginning of the video. I think she got this tight. She needs a little more muscle. So this is how tight she had to get for all the muscle to show. She's taken a pretty good period of time off, like enough to put on a little bit of size. So her glutes, I think everything else is pretty much there. Like it could have a little bit more density, but I think if her glutes were bigger and they were like 1.5 part glutes, 1 part legs, then that would be like that proportion we want to see. So the glute being a little bigger and tapering down into the knee. So yeah, that's what I think. I think glutes just need to be bigger. This suit, it's okay. It's pretty. It's definitely pretty. It just kind of blends with the tan. And the hair, I think a brush could be run through. It just looks a little bit pageanty. So yeah, but her balance is pretty good. Like the glutes are the thing that are out of balance for me, but everything else looks in balance with each other. Like the amount of muscle she has. Conditioning looks balanced from the back looks very balanced. Like she has the right amount of like fullness in those hamstrings. She looks a little tighter in this leg, but I think it's also because her foot is basically horizontal. So it does show more detail. If it were more at a 45-degree angle, then it wouldn't show quite as much detail, which I think would be helpful for her. Okay. And let's see Brooklyn, while we're on the subject, let's see if you've posted any updates for us. Please post updates for us. Oh my gosh, Brooklyn. I'm gonna need to see your life updates, please. Okay, here she is. Oh, okay, client transformation, go you. So this one, she went pro to her pro debut. Good for her. Yeah, I mean, I see why she won. That's a really great pose. Okay. And then, okay, so here's what seems to be an update. One day out 6 weeks ago. She competed 6 weeks ago. Oh yeah, at Toronto, I guess. Okay. So yeah, well, that looks exactly like, what we've been seeing. Oh, what's this? How long ago was this? 7 weeks ago. Okay. Anyway, moving on. So good luck, Brooklyn. I hope you have a great time. Okay, so then here is our last athlete, on the list at least, Lindsay Martin. So here she is. Lindsay. Okay, Lindsay looks gorge. She looks very full. Like, that is really pretty conditioning. She did Toronto last year, so she also has had Oh, okay, sorry. So, Brooklyn has not had that much time off. It's been like 6 weeks. This person has had over a year, a little over a year. And what did I say her name was? So sorry, Lindsay. Okay, so Lindsay, I think she could be tighter, but then she might be a little too. I mean, I think she could be tighter, and I think it would still look good. But she might lose like this nice fullness she has on the glutes here. So with her, I would probably run a brush through this too, also just to blend the natural hair with the extensions. And she could get the hair toned so it's all like the same color. It's not like super obvious, but I mean, maybe it is in person. In the photo, it's not super obvious, but I mean, I'm being critical, so I noticed. I love the suit color. The lip could be a little more poppy. It just kind of blends in with her skin. So yeah, makeup and hair could be a little bit improved. The tan looks really good. And I would, when I'm like paranoid that Rebecca hates me. Okay, no, she didn't text me saying she hates me, so that's good. Okay. Okay, so I think the waist looks a little bit distended, so I would like to see a kiss of detail in the waist, but maybe she was just a little inflamed for whatever reason. That could be like food, could be period, could be stress, could be a bunch of things. So yeah, I would like to see her overall just a little bit tighter, and then in the meantime, meaning the past year, building more glutes, so I'm sure she's done that. But yeah, I think just a little more upper outer glutes, so that way when she gets lean enough, she looks nice and balanced from top to bottom. So yeah, that's what I think. Okay, what are my rankings? Okay, one sec. I have a graphic for this. And then I have another graphic that I like, but it doesn't apply to this video. Okay. This graphic is called I Predict the Future. And then it's me right here. See? In a time machine. And then traveling. I know time machines probably go through like galaxies and stuff. I just have it traveling through the night sky. And so this is my I Predict the Future section. Okay, so who am I predicting? Okay, and I gotta write this down. Okay, I say, okay, here's my guess. So Vancouver, and this is the only show we have this weekend. I don't know how I made a 5-person list, a 40-minute video, but here I am. So I'm gonna say Ashley, Maxine, and then I'll say I think Lindsay could be in there. Okay, so I think Ashley, Maxine, I'll say Lindsay, and Brooklyn, Demi. I think Demi's upper body could get her higher, but I just don't know if she'll be lean enough in time. So that's my rationale. So I think Ashley, she's the obvious choice. I would love to see a neck and neck battle between her and Maxine. Lindsay, I think, is pretty balanced and has some nice fullness and good presentation from only pictures that I've seen. And I think if she brought a little more glute and a little bit tighter conditioning, then she'll be very balanced and fit the criteria really well. And then I have Brooklyn because I think that she is like a little bit, I'm seeing a little too much detail in the legs, but if she brought her glutes up a little bit, maybe her conditioning can be a little bit fuller than last time. But in the case that it's not, then I'm going to have Brooklyn. And then I have Demi just because I don't know if the lower is going to be tight enough in time. So, okay, Lindsay hasn't competed since 2024. Just want to make sure. So she's never competed against Brooklyn. No. Okay. So yeah, that's what I think. So let me know what you think down below. And that is all. Good luck to everyone. Thank you. Bye.